What's up, everybody? It's Matt Johnson. We are back with the latest episode of Real Estate Uncensored. This is the place where you learn how to attract an audience online, reach more people, get more clients, do all that fun stuff, actually build your audience by reaching people. We've got an amazing guest here today. Jeff Cohn, the man, the myth, the legend, is joining us. We've got a bunch of stuff to talk about. We're talking about why he took Berkshire Hathaway's #1 team over to KW. We're going to talk about the future of real estate, technology, Matterport, 3D virtual tours. I don't know. There's a whole bunch of fun stuff we're going to get into today. So this is going to be very, very packed and very fast-paced. I think Jeff has already had at least 3 energy drinks just in the last 4 hours. So he is ready to melt some faces, and we're ready too. So first of all, the Junior Grandmaster is in the co-pilot seat. You better strap yourself in because this is going to be a fast one. Greg, what's up today?
Oh God, it's gonna be a fast and dirty, man. Just the way I like it. No, but this is gonna be a great show. I made the big mistake of asking Jeff what was new, and then I forgot he was a super high D, and it was just like of all the new shit he's been doing, and I'm like, shit, I forgot that it was Jeff. God damn it. But he's got some really cool stuff. He's coming from his Corona bunker. He is safe. His family has been taken away by private Lear jet, and they are breathing fresh air where no coronavirus lives. You can see him in his bunker, ladies and gentlemen. Congratulations, Jeff. Oh, that's just a joke. But, dude, I'm glad to have you here. We got you. We got the Evil Bald Ninja. This place is going to be a shit show in all the best ways. So, hopefully that's a good introduction. Gene's giving me the stink face. I'm not quite sure why. But
I just wanted to know, did you just call him a high D?
Oh, God, yeah.
Oh, yeah. On the disc test?
Not that kind of high D.
I apologize. I misunderstood that. Sorry about that.
You dirty
I thought you liked him.
Hey, in real estate circles, calling someone a high D is a compliment. It's the highest compliment. Right. So, Jeff, our resident high D, what's up today?
Gentlemen, I just want to start off by thanking you from the bottom of my heart for giving me the opportunity to be here with you. I'm truly humbled to be numbered amongst the amazing guests that you guys continually bring on your shows, so thank you for that opportunity. I'm happy to speak to anything. For anyone that knows me, I like to be authentic. I'll share from my heart. I'll share the truth. I don't plug into any brokerage flag. I don't plug into any coaching company. I have my own set of beliefs, and I'm going to share with your listeners today the truth based on my life experience. I've been in the business 15 years. I took a team from 70 to over 700 sides in 6 years, making us the fastest growing residential real estate team in history. I moved the #1 team from Berkshire Hathaway Home Services over to Keller Williams in the last 60 days, while also launching a mortgage company and an insurance company and a digital marketing company, which is what I told Greg about because I know people that actually know me, like me, and trust me, want to know more about what's happening in my life. And him asking me how I was doing wasn't just simply me saying, oh, I'm doing well. He wanted to hear a real answer. So, Greg, thank you for listening so well as a high D yourself to my answer. I appreciate that.
My pleasure, my friend. Now get to the point. Come on.
Come on.
So there's lots we can talk about, you guys. I think we start off with the Keller Williams conversation. I never sell a brokerage flag, but I will say I chose to bring my world into the Keller Williams world because I think that they're the most tech-focused right now. While there's lots of technology companies that are helping push the agent out of the transaction and stay at the center, I think Keller is the one company that's speaking for the agent, keeping the agent the fiduciary at the center of the transaction while assisting and supporting the agent through technology. So that was one of our main moves there. But the second reason was we wanted to be able to take all the value we had created within our coaching organization, Elite Real Estate Systems, within our podcast following, the Team Building Podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, and YouTube, and be able to make sure that we're able to partner with all of those individuals who want to partner with us across any brokerage flag by creating ancillary businesses that run parallel to the real estate transaction to help protect the agent commission, which will continue to go down. And that's the thing I'm passionate about. That's the thing I want to talk about. When people ask why I went to Keller because Gary Keller, out of any entrepreneur I know in the real estate space, is the most successful. I want to be aligned with somebody that did what Gary did, and I want to do what he did at 100x. And I believe that by doing that inside of his world versus trying to compete directly with his world, I'm going to be able to get there faster, make more money in less time with less energy.
Well, you just gave more information in 5 minutes than some of our shows than I do for an hour. So good to end the show here. Good on a high note. All right, gentlemen.
Have a nice day.
That's actually true.
All right. But let's talk a little bit about some of the things that were set the stage for us, like before you moved over and yeah, because this is not a commercial for KW necessarily. We got a bunch of other stuff to get to, but I do want to I want to crack your brain open a little bit on what are some of the things that you're seeing in terms of like what's coming down the pipeline that you could see that's going to put more pressure on commissions, and where do you think, do you have any suspicion of where it might end up, let's say a couple years or 5 years from now or whatever? Like what are you bracing for?
Yeah, 95% of agents that are licensed today will no longer be in the business. The onesie twosie agents that are club realtors won't be able to have a place. There's going to be a camp, I'd say, about 7.5 to 10% of the 1.7 million agents. There will be two camps. One will be salaried agents. It'll be similar to Uber drivers who will go on an appointment. They'll get paid $50 to show a house, or maybe they'll get $2,000 a month with a tiny little bonus attached to it. And then you'll have another group of people, maybe 3 to 4% of agents that are in the market today, who are your top producers, your broker owners, your team leaders, who know how to create true value that the consumer will demand and won't get from these other companies that create Uber. Uber doesn't give you the best value. They just make it simple. The real estate transaction isn't as simple as a ride that takes 7 minutes from point A to point B. It's a 45-day ride that's 100 times more involved than an Uber ride. But a lot of big business, tech-powered, believe that they can cut the agent out and create an Uber experience. But there's a lot of people in my world that don't want an Uber experience. They want a VIP experience. And to live in the agent game and be able to retain your commission, you got to give people that VIP experience. The days of going and taking 5 pictures and having the house sell in 2 hours and not really doing anything to earn the 6% is going to be gone. You're going to have to truly offer value. And that's why I've invested so much time and energy into building what I call a one-stop shop, hybrid, tech-powered office of the future, which involves mortgage, title, insurance. There's a family office where we even have financial planners inside of our office, property management, luxury, commercial division, all under one umbrella. And we allow the consumer to come physically to our space or meet virtually. And all of that we do for agents as well. So every function of an agent can be done in person and or virtually as well.
Yeah. So this is so you're seeing the potential or even the likelihood of what I would call the corporatization of real estate. So taking industry that's been heavily reliant on freelance and turning it into more of a corporate structure where, let's say that the people that you're coaching in elite real estate systems, the team leaders of today, may end up being the indie brokers or even consolidating further from there into just flat out larger brokerage owners as the industry consolidates, turning around and hiring the best of their agents right now, turning them into salaried employees, sometimes whether they would like it or not, because the government may step in and mandate that like they've done here in California. So that's going to radically change everything. It's going to change. I would say the person that's running this model already, to the best of my knowledge, and doing it at a high level, is Lance Loken.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yep, I agree.
And so this model already exists and it's out there and competing with the models right now. The problem is, and the only reason these changes haven't already come is that the expansion and the kicking the can down of the bubble and just the real estate expansion in general has allowed a lot of part-timers to continue to stay in and squeak by, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, in California, you do one transaction and you might make $20,000. And if you only need to live, a very low, when you're only outputting a very low dollar amount per year, and maybe you have money coming in from a previous job, or you have a significant other, you don't need to sell very many houses. And I think there's a lot of agents like that, but those people that are charging the 5 or 6% and living that way will no longer be necessary because they don't offer value. Somebody would be able to go online to Redfin or to Zillow Buy or a lot of other options to cut that person out that doesn't offer value and just pay a flat rate and get the equal value or better by going to one of these third parties where there's not an actual fiduciary in the center of the transaction. And that is the future. And I loved your point in terms of indie. Every team and any team in America that doesn't have a lot of value right now that is indie is only independent because they haven't seen value from a large brokerage shop. And I think the traditional brokerage has done a horrible job. They've proven that through the statistics regarding how many agents stay in the business. 19 out of 20 are gone in the first 2 years. That is part of the leadership failure in the residential real estate industry of lacking the ability to train, retain, hold accountable, and provide the systems and strategies to help people be successful. And that's why our coaching company was built organically, unintentionally, because people needed support. And we assumed the broker would provide that support, but in a lot of cases they do not. So Keller Williams is also one of the first that has spoken to the indie model, where they'll allow you today to keep your independent name, to be an independent brokerage, and just simply be powered by Keller Williams technology. I could have stayed Omaha's Elite Real Estate Group powered by Keller Williams and been an indie, but I chose to launch a market center because that opportunity was available in my marketplace. But I'd recommend to anyone running a large team and or brokerage, if there's not a market center opportunity for you, look at possibly being an indie brokerage tied to Keller Williams technology. So I think Gary's focus from a bigger picture standpoint, he believes that you're going to be tech powered no matter what. Is the agent at the center of the transaction protecting the commission, or is the agent now just a little cog in a wheel like an Uber driver would be? And he believes, I think, that not only other companies like Remax, Century 21, EXP, he believes they'll be powered by KW technology as well, but he wants to get into other industries, not just real estate. So there will be mortgage companies and insurance companies and tons of other companies that are using what he calls his platform, which right now is called Command. And that's something to speak to. So independent of the brokerage you're at, do the listeners right now have a platform? And by platform, what I mean is there an ecosystem where you're putting all of your leads, where all of your ancillary businesses have access to said leads within that ecosystem, so everybody knows who's talking to who, at what point of the life cycle is that lead at, as far as the servicing of the lead when it does go under contract or in the process of converting the lead. But what really becomes crazy is your ability through predictable analytics and artificial intelligence. Once all that data is in there, there's certain things that happen with that lead that okay, 97% of the time that lead had reached out to a lender to get pre-approved, they ended up purchasing a home within 12 months. Well, I don't know when they talked to the lender because the lender's using a different database. Right. I don't know when they looked at a house the first time because they're looking at houses on Zillow first and then they're coming over to my website. And so by putting everybody into the same place and creating this platform, you can use predictable analytics and artificial intelligence to help you communicate at a higher level, thus being able to provide the consumer with more experiences other than just the residential sale. For example, last week rates fell further than they have been in the last 50 years. Well, if we had our mortgage companies tied in to our databases, we could have shot out an email, which I did, to 300,000 people in Omaha the day rates hit that all-time low. I literally just drafted an email, hit a button. Everyone in my platform was notified that rates were at an all-time low, and if they wanted to refi their loan, which was the best time in history to refi your loan, if you didn't know that last week, and all of my people knew about it. So what kind of value was that I was able to offer to my client? How many people listening today that sold a house let all of their buyers know that it was the best day in history? Probably less than 99% because you haven't built a platform, because your broker didn't show you how, because your real estate coach didn't show you how. And that's sad. That's too bad. That was your responsibility as the person that represented the consumer in their home purchase. You, listener right now, had a responsibility to let those people know that they could refi their loan and save $300 or $3,000 a month, but you didn't do it. And you didn't do it because your leadership didn't show you how. That's what Elite Real Estate Systems would have taught you to do.
Yeah, love it.
Holy
yeah,
shit.
This is insane. So there's a lot. There's a whole ton there that we could dive into, and I don't know that I agree with the premise of where Gary is going. Not in the sense that it's not a great direction to go in theory. The only question is the ultimate arbiter of all that stuff is the consumer, and that's the only issue I have with whether this stuff works out or not is that you are. By putting the agent at the priority at the center of all the technology you build, you run the risk of giving the consumer something that they don't want because your priority is to the agent first. But we'll see. I mean, the bottom line is I know where he's going and I know why he's going there. The only question is, will the consumer agree that they want a tech-empowered agent rather than a tech company that has really good customer service? Because I would say human nature tends to run towards the second, at least what we're seeing right now. Less personal, the relationship being with the brand and with the technology, and then the human being is in addition to it. So we'll see how all that shakes out. Yeah. But I do think the corporatization part is coming.
I haven't found a customer service company, which is essentially what a residential real estate agent is. The only thing we sell is the value we offer. I don't know of a single doctor, dentist, attorney, massage therapist that offers their services virtually through technology. People still want to go in person and meet with those individuals. Now, is there an option? There is absolutely an option other than the massage. Greg probably has a solution for that too. But other than that, you're going to probably have to go.
I'm just picturing Greg's virtual robot hands coming out of a computer, and it's very disturbing.
They do have this, I'm sure. Greg could tell us more about this offline. But my point being is I think that we're discrediting, and it's unfortunate that I think so many people discount the value of a great real estate agent. Yeah, I get it. The 80-20 rule. 80% of agents are garbage. No offense to all you garbage agents out there, become better. 20% are pretty dang good, and then there's a couple There's a couple that are awesome. And if you chose to move, like I think about for myself, if I was going to move right now to San Diego, I'm probably going to call Kyle Whistle. And I'm going to ask him for ideas of agents that I could work with in San Diego, and he's going to give me an awesome agent, and I'm going to let that agent make their 2.5% because I believe there's value in using a realtor. I'm not going to go do it on my own. Right now, when I sell property, unlike a lot of other flippers, I use a real estate agent to list it and pay them a commission instead of just going and doing it for sale by owner because I believe there's value. I believe the consumer does make more money in less time with less energy or save more money in less time with less energy. But I'm a realtor, right? And I have been for 15 years. I believe in agents. I protect agents. And I think Gary Keller feels the same way. He got in the business when he was similar age to me. I think he was 20 or 21. His whole life he lived as an agent, and he wants to protect the agent. So if in the end he's wrong, he's okay. He has a tech company. He can quickly pivot to salary positions. That's not hard. He has a whole army of 180,000 agents that could turn into salaried plus bonus and have ownership opportunities still. And I think it's fine. But I do.
I mean, he'll be fine. He's in a good position. But yeah,
I want to step in there. I want to step in there. I disagree with something Jeff said there, and I want to give him an opportunity to talk about this real quick. Because you said I'm a real estate agent, right? But I would argue that you're not. You are not. You're a service provider / business entrepreneur. And I think that's a big difference in who's going to end up working at Warren Buffett's, purple label for $25,000 a year versus the VIP agent, right? And I think when you say I'm a real estate agent, that's not how I see you. Like we were pre-show and you talked about 3 other business lines that you were running that will stand on its own whether real estate goes through, the mom and pop shop or KW. It doesn't matter. So I just wanted to point that out because I give you a little bit more credit and that sounds awful. I don't mean it that way, but you know what I'm saying, right?
No, I totally hear on what you're saying. And my sentiment is for those listening that are still out servicing, I've been where you are. I've been in the trenches. I was a Navy SEAL going into battle. I'm no longer. Now I get to be a general and I get to lead other people into battle and teach them to stop fighting wars and become generals as well. So I get your sentiment and it's a fair share. But my point is that I've lived the realtor lifestyle, and a lot of people haven't. I did it for 6 years. I've sold 5,000 doors for $1 billion. I understand the blood, sweat, and tears that go into it. And most agents, to your point, are never taught next level how to become an entrepreneur because the traditional broker doesn't want them to, because the traditional broker has a scarcity mindset that they think that if they teach that person to stop selling, then the revenue will stop coming in. And what they should have done was taught that person how to create 100 more people like themselves and allow that person to go into a leadership role. And that is what it looks like inside of Keller Williams. In most other traditional brokerages, the rock star agents stay rock stars till they die. I don't look up to 70-year-olds that are wrinkly that have to work 80 hours a week. When I'm 70 and wrinkly, I want to be in my hut on my island in Taipan.
Right. Be a king maker, not a king,
all
right?
Yeah, exactly. King maker, not a king. Okay, so one of the things that I can see happening is we go down to instead of maybe a percentage base, I could definitely see us going to flat fees, and that's another direction where if that happens, Jeff, you're really, really, really well positioned because you are. Like you're taking the approach that like, hey, let's build out, like once you have a stream of business coming in, so if you're listening to this and you're a team leader, broker, owner, whatever, like you have this stream of business coming in, you know that the percentage stuff is going to go down. The only question is how much. You could potentially even see that switch over to flat fees because we've seen that in other industries like law and wealth management, right?
Matt, I think you're going to see zero
fees as opposed to percentage fees. Potentially, yeah. And then
if you can figure out how to make 2.75% on the mortgage and 1% on title and 1% on insurance, and you have other ancillary businesses on top of that, you might tell people, hey, we'll list your house for free. And you pay somebody $24,000 a year to manage the listing side, and you say the same thing on the buy side, and you make your money in your ancillaries if you have ancillaries. How can another agent compete on that if they don't have the ancillary? That was the reason Gary Keller created KW Mortgage. He now can go to the consumer and say, hey, consumer, if you use our agent and pay a normal commission, we can give you $1,500 back at closing if your loan is over $150,000. Our brokerage is going to be able to offer the exact same thing at KW Elite. You can legally offer those incentives to those individuals who choose to use your mortgage company through a coupon or a voucher, and you can denote how much that voucher is. So I could go speak to a real estate team that's not even at my brokerage and say, hey, I'm going to give everyone one voucher today to use my mortgage company. It's going to be worth $1,500, and you can give it to the consumer, and the consumer gets jacked about that. Hey, $1,500 extra dollars for using Matt Johnson as their agent versus any other agent out there. That's why Gary, I think, started the ancillaries. He did, obviously it's a profit center as well, but more so he did it to protect the agent's commission by offsetting the cost that the mortgage company keeps.
And if that works, we'll see that spread through the industry, and other agents at other companies will have the opportunity to do those same things.
They're
if
the
they feel like
fastest
model
growing
works.
mortgage company in history. They did I think it was $3 billion last year in loans in 12 months.
Goodness.
So.
All right, so let's shift gears a little bit and go to the digital marketing side, because so you are now a partner in essentially a digital marketing company, and it's the same principle as why you started the insurance, the property management, all that stuff. Because once you have once you know that you're going to sell X number of houses per year, anything close to that, right? Then you can start looking at these other options. So let's talk a little bit about where you see digital marketing of listings going, which is causing you to get involved in actually selling those services.
Yeah. Well, obviously a lot is online, right? So you have Instagram and Facebook as the primary two portals that people are going to look at active property that agents are posting. The problem is agents are posting garbage, and they're redirecting people to a landing page that forces them to register on a website, which I do the same. I'm on Boomtown. I get 22,000 visits a month. 10% end up registering when I force them to come down my rabbit hole by giving me their contact information. So I close 10% of people that come to my site, which generates 2,000 leads a month. The challenge always becomes, what's the content that the consumer truly wants the agent should be putting online? And I have an answer. I think it's high-def pictures that are full screen. They're not bled down by the MLS. I think it's virtual tours, which I'm in my virtual reality room right now. This is a $10,000 VR room where you can tour houses in 6 degrees of freedom. If you've never heard of it, go Google that or find a YouTube video about it. And then the third thing is just simple Matterport technology that allows you to have 3D of freedom, where you can go search a house virtually or on your computer screen and be able to look at everything from the vantage points in which you shot a video. The challenge has been that everybody seems to be doing one of those things but not incorporating it all together, and so that's where I had a lot of interest in a company that's here in the Midwest called Verly, getvrly.com, if you want to learn more information about it. And we're actually looking to partner with service providers in every major city in the United States, giving them exclusive rights and allowing them to upsell it, and then we do all the back-end editing. But in a nutshell, what we build for all of our agents for $250 is a Matterport video, which it's not a video. You actually go in and have virtual reality on your computer, on your phone, on your tablet, or literally with goggles. You also have a drone flyover, which incorporates the exterior of the property and drone interior. You do a fly-through interior that looks like drone, which is a video that gets uploaded to Facebook, which helps with SEO and your click rate and your view rate. And we take care of all that at Verly. And then the third thing would be full HDR. So we host all of our images on our own server, so you can have your full 4K picture that fills a 65-inch monitor, or all the way to your 27-inch monitor. Whereas right now with IDX Sync, you don't get that opportunity. And then we build its own landing page where somebody can click on the link. They can upload that link that's branded and non-branded. So MLS requires the non-branded link, whereas when the agent's marketing that property on their own social, they're going to use the branded link. And then we do a boost onto that agent's social media. All of what I just said for the last 5 minutes is $250.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you pointed out something really interesting before we went live, which is it's proven that like the serious home buyers, the people that are actually looking, especially when they're looking at work, are looking at homes on full-on PCs. And now we're talking about, 27, 32-inch screens. You're talking about dual monitors. So unlike, let's say, a couple of years ago when you pretty much were guaranteed that most people were searching Zillow as an app on their phone and looking at pictures that were essentially a postage stamp size, now we've progressed to the point where now people are able to look. They've either got smart TVs at home or they're looking at PCs at work or whatever. And so now we have the capability to kind of give them that. The question is just, is that what they want? Because, people are weird.
So think of this. My mom yesterday.
Convenient.
I was texting my mom yesterday about the coronavirus, and she said to me, showings are going to be way down because of the coronavirus. And I said, isn't it great that our brokerage has virtual reality for every house? And so we're running ads this week that say, don't worry about touring our homes in person. We have a solution for you virtually. We require, and I think we're the only brokerage in America that requires, that every one of our active listings has a Matterport video that goes along with it, so the consumer has the option of touring it from their home. I was at a breakout at Inman last month in New York City as part of the KW Future, and Jason Abrams was interviewing me, and we were talking about 6 degrees of freedom. So if you're watching and not listening, this is an example. I'm showing my goggles. These are HTC Vive Pro wireless headsets. They cost $2,000. But essentially what that gives the consumer the ability to do is walk a property physically in a virtual space, and the property looks just like real life. And so Jason Abrams said, so you think the future is every office is going to have that VR room so that the consumer can tour a property virtually in the VR room? I said, no, the future is that the consumer can do that from home. And this isn't just for houses. This is every product. Look at us right now. 95% of what I buy is on Amazon. But there's certain things I won't buy because I don't feel like I have the right virtual experience with the product when I'm on Amazon. And Greg probably has more information about this as well. But what I want is a 3D printer type of function where if I'm looking at a hat, I want to know what the hat feels like. So I'm probably not going to buy it because I have a big fat head. I need to make sure it's going to fit me. There's got to be a way where technology can advance this, where you can feel texture, you can feel smooth, you can feel different things. With a house, you're going to ultimately, in the end, when you make the buy decision, you want to touch it, feel it, smell it. You're going to be living there. But I think you can narrow down your search using that virtual technology, using the 3D Matterport, using that drone flyover to save you a ton of time. And then when it does come time to actually go out and look at property, you're going to be able to have saved, countless hours because you had the virtual option. The challenge is because the consumer hasn't demanded it because they don't know that it exists yet. A lot of agents aren't offering it to their sellers. Less than 5% are. So I'm pioneering this technology saying, hey, this is what the consumer is going to demand. They might not yet. And I'm going to my seller saying, nobody else is really doing this. This is going to differentiate your listing from all the others. But the truth is that the buyers don't know that tech even exists. They don't have, out of you three, do any of you own virtual reality goggles right now?
No, but I've been talking to I've been waiting for them to come down the pipe with this stuff because it's going to be next level easy for a buyer's agent to easily say, hey, Jeff, here are the 3 files on the 3 homes you wanted to go see. Here's some goggles. Check them out, and the one you like, let's go walk it. It's going to save time, gas, energy.
Yep.
You won't spread the coronavirus, which I think is complete bullshit.
So you have an out-of-town buyer that's going to be in the $1 million+ range coming in a month,
Exactly.
right? So they're coming into Omaha. I'm going to send them a preloaded Google, Oculus Go headset. You can get them for $150 right now on Amazon for the 32 gig. I'm going to load up all of my listings that are over $1 million or my competition's listings. And what's interesting is they don't have the Matterport. I'm going to ask them if I can go create it for free at cost, essentially. My digital marketing company will go in and actually spin the house in virtual reality so I can load it to the goggle and I'll send the buyer the goggles. So they can tour these homes while they're in another country before they physically come to the U.S. or to Omaha. And that's what I think is taking it to the next level. Right now, it's just really, we're doing this right now, but I don't think the consumer is demanding it. We're going on a listing presentation with the Oculus Go goggles. Then we have the videos loaded up, and we show them when we say, hey, we're going to do Matterport, and it's really cool. Instead of just showing it to them on a flat computer screen or a cell phone, we're actually putting the goggles on them and showing them what the experience could be for a potential buyer and letting them know when there's an actual showing on their home, it's truly a second showing. And where we think that the tech is really taking you even further is for all of us that have bought anything, after you go buy the house and you have 45 days now to think about it, or after you looked at the house and you're still trying to decide if you want to buy it, how nice would it have been to have that virtual render so that afterwards you could go back in 10 more times or 50 more times to look at where that closet was and to get your measurements. Right now they have a measure feature. You can literally draw a line anywhere inside of the Matterport 3D spin and measure how much space there is in certain rooms if you want to start figuring out where your furniture is going to go. The last thing I want to say about the tech is you can also create tags that upsell your ancillary businesses. So when someone enters into my virtual showing, there's a video of me that says, hi, I'm Jeff Cohn. This is my listing. Hope you enjoy your tour. As you go through the property, you're going to see these little white teardrops. Feel free to click on them to learn more about the products and services that we offer. So the Sub-Zero fridge will do a redirect to a video on YouTube about Sub-Zero, but on the island, there's going to be a service for mortgage. And then in the living room, it's going to talk about home inspection. And in the family room, it's going to talk about home warranty. And in the garage, it's going to talk about the company that puts the flooring in the garage. So you now can build affiliate relationships and charge to market their product inside your virtual tours. It's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. Same thing, that Pinterest has been doing for a little while as well. Same thing. If you like that shirt, you can zoom in on it.
Same exact
like the cup and the whole thing. But
Houzz does it. Houzz was the first time I saw it, maybe 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So back to the link. I want to send out.
The technology is actually fantastic. And Jeff, if you wanted to go into while you take your first breath of the whole show, go in and put the link of your of what you hit me and Matt with, so that everyone can get an idea of what this actually is. Because when I was messing around with it, and they did have the measure link and everything else, it was really a pretty cool technology. And I really do think that this is going to change our industry substantially because of the ease of everything. And Gene, I'd love to see what your thoughts are, because I know that Bald Ninja Brain's probably going a billion miles an hour. And like, how can I market this? How could you get the consumers to wrap their brains around this thing? No pun intended.
Send them the goggles. Just get them in front of the material. Like, I love that idea about sending those things out. I've seen people do other things where somebody's actually in our chat where they send out these they're folders, but there's like little small cheap TVs in them. And when you open it, it plays a video about it plays a video about the brokerage or whatever. You can do those on a per house basis. I love that you're combining all that technology into one spot. And I don't think, here's what I think. I've been in that space a long time. I think that most people will promote that for you. So in other words, if I got that, I would be like, dude, have you seen what Jeff and his team have sent? Look at me in these goggles that, by the way, when you put the goggles on, I'm sure it's going to have Elite Systems like sticker on it or something.
Oh, it
right?
does.
That's right.
It's on the goggles, of course.
Yeah, no, it just makes so much sense. And I got to imagine that the cost for you to send those things out and not even care if you get it back. I mean, I know you want it back, but it's so overridden by the fact that people are going to be all over the web showing people what you're doing.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is true. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Yeah, so Jeff, you were saying so we're going to get, as the consumers come to demand this, which I think they will, the price is going to come down. The price isn't there yet to where the average consumer is going to have it in their house. So there's an interesting niche of time that may last 2 years and may last 5 years and may last 10, because VR keeps getting the can kicked down the road. But there's going to be a gap of time, and you're basically looking to capitalize on this gap of time, where you're going to have something that's too expensive for them to have in their home, but they want it and they see the need, and it's going to save them time, right? So you're going to have a facility in your office where they can come and do virtual walkthroughs of all these homes, and at some point they're going to have it in their home, but they're not going to have it yet. And so you're going to get an advantage over other competitors by being the first one to build that virtual reality space in a brokerage office, while everybody else is just kind of thinking of it as a toy that eventually the consumers will have at home.
Well, when we say they'll have it, so like if you have met with an architect, you spent $30,000 for your plans on your 4,000 square foot story and a half, that architect is not going to go build a virtual reality render because it's an additional $20,000 if you do that in the United States. So even if they have the tech to walk the house in their home, which right now you can go buy Oculus Quest goggles, and that gives you a 6 degree of freedom experience for $400. They're on back order about 2 months, but you could go get those now and have the same or similar experience you'd have if you were in my VR room. But you're still going to have to pay a company to take that CAD blueprint drawing, if you will, and create this 6 degree of freedom experience. So I do believe that the consumer will continue to adopt the technology. But as far as the 6 degree experience, most people that aren't going to spend the money, and so the builders and the designers and the architects are going to have to see the necessity. The experience is crazy. So like I live in a pretty nice home in Omaha, Nebraska. It's about 6,000 square feet, and they did do a 3D render for me that you could tour the house kind of like Matterport in a computer, but it doesn't give you nearly the same aspect ratio and experience as if you could walk through it. So I would have spent a couple grand for that. I probably wouldn't have spent 20 grand, and that's where the cost and the necessity or demand is not close enough. But as the costs come down and people find easier ways to render the 3D space, and make it digitized so that you can walk it, I think more and more people will demand it. Most people don't even know it's available. They don't even know what that experience is. Even though I just talked about it, they don't even know it. I had someone come and shoot like a 2-minute video that we would now take on our listing presentations to show people exactly what I'm talking about with the 6 degree. And I'll release that. You guys could include it probably when this goes out. I also threw 2 links in there. GetVerly.com is our digital marketing company. You can reach out to us if you want to be our service provider or use our product. And then I sent everyone the link here for being able to see an example of what I was talking about for $250. That includes the Matterport, the drone footage, the pictures in full HDR, a map, the subject, the description about the property, and then all the redirects in my branded link for all of my personal social stuff. If you haven't followed me on Instagram, I'm also posting up pictures and videos of this stuff all the time. I go live almost every day. Just follow me. Jeff M. Cohn is my handle. Jeff M. as in Mark, C-O-H-N on Instagram.
Yeah.
I'm going to go follow you right now.
I already followed you, I'm sure.
I'm sure we got a couple other questions, and I want to open it up for anything that Greg and Jeff or Greg and Gene and our listening audience here on Facebook might have to say. But Jeff, what's the go back to Elite Real Estate Systems? What's the link And then, do you have any? Are you doing any events this year with the
tons
whole
of
Corona
events.
stuff?
So we have the team building. So first off, the links to Verly is getverly.com. I put it in our chat. I don't know if they can.
Yeah,
if
I did too.
On live stream can see that or not, but
Yep.
make the branded link available when you guys put the show out. But you'll see tons of examples at getverly.com. But if I wanted people to be able to see my own, if you go to my website, kwelite.com, click on our listings, all of our houses, unless they're one of my investment properties, will have this Verly spin and the technology I've been talking about when you click on the virtual tour button. But it is going to make you register. And then you were asking about events. So we host the Team Building Summit every year, where we teach team leaders, entrepreneurs, broker owners how to build and scale a dominant business in their marketplace. It's $399 for your guests. Typical VIP tickets are $499. So if you want to find out more information about that event, just go out to eliterealestatesystems.com, click on events, or the actual URL for the Team Building Summit is theteambuildingsummit.com. And then we host workshops, Matt, like you guys have attended every other month, the team building workshop. We actually have one next Monday. We have one every other month at the end of the month, and it's a Monday, Tuesday event. The first day for $1,000 is a download of our team and all the different systems and tools we use. And then day 2 is an investment workshop for $500, which shows how we have built an investment, single-family and multifamily investment business that has grown now to over 80 doors valued at $10 million, all in Omaha, Nebraska. We're acquiring about 10 doors a month and keeping about a third of them as long-term rentals. And so we built out a really nice business there, and we have a lot of people coming to learn how we modeled that and then take that back to their marketplace.
Yeah, and we could do a whole episode on that too, because I mean this is where the future of real estate I think is heading. Not only just ancillary services, but what you're doing with mixing. So blending taking the same digital marketing strategies and the things that you're going to do to generate leads anyway. Like if you're already doing them, how do you maximize that and then lower the overall cost by getting a bunch of other ancillary benefits out of it? So then taking that into, you mentioned property management, and then taking that into flipping or buying and holding, right? So, and Greg, you're working on your strategy, which is buying on terms. We've had Chris Prefontaine on the show, so if anybody wants to go out and start doing that, whether you have financial resources or not, that's the great thing about buying on term. It gives you a bunch of options. But yeah, I mean, both of you are kind of in that zone of look, I'm already making the calls. Or the team is making calls, or already generating online leads. Let's squeeze the most juice out of it, because it seems like over the next 5-10 years in real estate, that's the game. Squeeze as much out as you possibly can, because every single little individual part of that is getting squeezed smaller and smaller.
What we haven't talked about is Zillow going from buying zip codes to now charging a referral fee. And we haven't talked about Boomtown doing the same thing, and Realtor.com and Upcity doing the same thing. And I believe that that's the play for every real estate brokerage in America that knows how to generate leads. So Elite Real Estate Systems is doing the same. So we're going to go into 100 markets with a CRM, and we're going to generate leads from Google Ads, Facebook Ads, Craigslist, and Zillow, and then sell the leads off at a 50% referral fee. But we're going to do what no one else typically does, and that is hold the agent accountable to actually doing the work that goes along with lead conversion and training the agent on how to overcome objections and actually handle that lead the way a lead should be handled. So that's another thing. If anyone in your group is interested in partnering with us there, just go out to growwithers.com, and we actually take applications based on the volume you're at in the market that you're in. So growwithers.com has a link that says partner with Jeff Cohn, and we would love to see if you would be a good marketplace for any of our ancillary businesses and or our expansion arms. And we will do this across all brokerage brands. It's not just Keller Williams. It's anybody.
Right.
When most people listen to podcasts on twice the speed so they can get through it and you get to the next podcast, I think you're going to have to listen to this one at half speed so that we can get all the content that you've dropped on us today. I mean, that is fuck. I'm sitting here shit, he's still going. Holy crap.
I always laugh when people say this, and I'm like, I have to live with myself, you guys. I actually that's why I come on Jack, because I have to calm down. I hot tubbed before this morning. That's part of my meditation routine in the morning.
Wait, this is you mellow? This is you mellowed after a hot tub session?
This was me taking it down a notch. So I'm only drinking, this is Zevia. I don't think there's any caffeine in Zevia. I'll have to check.
Okay, yeah, 0-calorie sweetener drink. Okay, so only 3,000 milligrams of caffeine. Got it.
I had one bang this morning. I did have a bang.
Okay,
I got
a bang. About your sex life.
You got a bang?
Right. Every morning I drink a bang. What was the sex life question?
Let's wrap this up.
Did someone just ask that?
All right.
You guys are always so fun. And
Gene.
back to my beginning, the full circle is I just want to tell you it was awesome to be a guest. It's always fun to be on your show. I know we're friends off this show, just so that everybody knows. But I truly am. It is a pleasure to be here, and I hope I have an opportunity to come back. So thank you guys for letting me have this chance to be on your show again.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, dude. What I really like is the tech side of this thing. I think you sharing kind of where this is going, and yeah, there's still going to be some cost barriers to a few agents, but I mean, if you were able to put a couple of dollars aside for every deal for a little while, be able to get those goggles, and then be able to stand above and beyond your competition purely by showing up to a listing appointment and just having past homes on display, just literally physically putting that goggle on the prospective seller, you will blow everyone else out of the
Well,
water.
here you go. I'll give you everybody a gift here. You can get Google Cardboard. I think you can get 2 for $15 on Amazon right now. And I've heard that there's companies in China, you can buy them and have them brand your logo on the Google Cardboard, which it's literally cardboard with a strap on it where you put your cell phone inside of it. And you can get them for $1 branded with your team logo out of China.
Yeah.
But I would recommend to go with the $150 Oculus Go option. It's going to be a little bit classier. I own 10 of them, and I own 10 iPads with our listing pres and buyer pres keynote. And so when my agents go on a listing pres or my agents go on a buyer pres, they're bringing a big iPad, the Pro, and they're bringing the Oculus Go goggle with preloaded virtual tours. How do you compete with that? How can an agent that sells 3 houses a year compete with, we have virtual reality for you? I mean, it's a no-brainer, right?
Not to mention what you could do with that on marketing wise, how to market that and showcase your technology superiority versus anyone else in your marketplace. 90% of the real estate agents can be like, Oculus, what? You're like, yep, that's why you can't market my home.
Yeah. It's like, wait a minute, you can send an audio message on Facebook Messenger? like 5 years behind. All right. Gene, what's the best way for people to reach out and connect with you?
These days, it's just the website, gettogenevolpe.com, as we talk about all the time. I think last week I gave out my cell phone, didn't I?
You did.
Maybe.
It was shocking.
Yeah.
I'll do it again. 610-952-1081. 610-952-1081. Get at me.
That's right. I think this whole
Matt,
episode needs to be listened to on half speed. That not being given out on the air. That's what that is. My best link for me is getmicrofamous.com. Kindle version is out. Anyone that's on Amazon Prime gets it for free. Print book is under approval, so it should be out and available for shipping and some stuff this Monday. Obviously, you can pre-order it this whole time. But yeah, so the print book is coming. Just go to getmicrofamous.com. You got all the links there. And then I just put out an episode of the Microfamous podcast this morning about how to use a podcast as an incubator for ideal clients. So if you are hosting a podcast or thinking about it and you're curious about how it actually spits out ideal clients out of the back end, go check out that episode of the Microfamous podcast.
All righty, Matt. Thanks for asking. Where to get a hold of me? Simple, guys, just go ahead and give me a call. And my number is 402-611-925. That is Matt's cell phone.
That is mean.
That would be
really mean.
That would be incredibly mean. Fortunately, I control the production process of this podcast.
There you go.
I don't bite the hand that feeds me. So, guys, best way to get a hold of me, just go ahead and call me or text me, 925-915-1978. Again, 925-915-1978. Let's talk about kind of what we're doing over here with EXP. Let's talk about just some generally fun things that you may have any questions about, scripts, technology, kind of dilute Jeff and kind of figure out what he said in all of this. If this is the first time you heard anything about this stuff, but because Jeff dropped a lot of knowledge here, guys, a lot of knowledge. And I'm not just fucking with you. I'm really saying it because I'm really serious. Like, that was like a crap ton. And we're blessed to have you, my friend. So, Matt, do your job. Pick a color. Gosh.
Do my job. Goodness. Let's go with lime green.
Lime green. Okay.
Lime green.
Lime green. Lime a day keeps the corona away. So, all right, lime green it is, guys. We love you to pieces. Thank you for watching. Gene, you're the man, the evil bald ninja, and Jeff, you're the legend. Matt, well, you still have a piece of coal for your heart. We're praying for you every day. The good Lord will bless you one of these days. But anyways, guys, until next time, peace out, ninjas. We gone.